Yo, what's the deal, everybody? It's your player partner, Bobby WAJ. Give me a minute. Twitch, tripping. Okay. I'm gonna allow YouTube the time that it needs to send out those notifications to get your player partner in the algorithm. Let me change this title on Twitch. Let's see if that works. Is y'all gonna let me rock or no? All right, I think we got action. Let me see. We got action. So now I see that with Twitch, you can't put something in there that's remotely close to verbiage used by a black extremist. Can't do that. What's the deal, Haiti man? Peace and blessings, cuz just wanted to come on in. I just want to ask people a realistic question. What does being black mean to you? Think about it. I am coming to the conclusion that my blackness may not represent or look like or may not be similar to what your blackness is. And if our blackness don't look the same, then how could we be a black collective? So when you take other races and you take Anglo-Saxons here in America, European Americans, right? Let's highlight the Republican Party. Their whiteness, their ideologies of being a Republican, it's all similar. It doesn't much get off path. It's similar. You can ask this Republican this, and he's going to tell you this. You can ask this Republican this, and he's going to tell you something remotely close to what the other Republican told you. You know why? Because they have an identity. They have a power structure. They have a movement, and they have a shared goal. And what is that shared goal for Republicans? Republicans is the preservation of their people. You can get yours. We don't give a long as it don't threaten ours. Because at the end of the day, as a Republican, I'm not a Republican. This is what the Republicans feel. We have to preserve our whiteness. We have to preserve and reserve our nation for us, not for the Hispanics, not for the blacks, not for the Asians. You can come here and you can amass any level of success that you can, unless you're black. Everybody else can move and advance as a collective, but we cannot. We don't have a shared mission. What my blackness represent and means to me, yours may not mean that. Some of our blackness in an identity of being black is rooted in being gang members. That's the culture, cuz. Or that's what's bracking blood. All I know is, and we can see this, and we can see that is true with some of these social media content creators. Some of them ain't shit without their homeboys, and some of them ain't shit without an identity that's rooted in their respective sets. I'm Bobby Ye. My identity, my mission, and my purpose is rooted in universal blackness. I'm gonna tell you what black means to me, right? I was a kid, and an amazing situation had transpired. An amazing movement was created in Watts in 1992, and that's called the 1992 Peace Treaties. Brothers from 60s, brothers from A-Tray, brothers from Main Street, East Coast, Broadway, PJs, Gray Streets, Paru, Compton Crips, everywhere. They all came together. The ambiance, the feeling of that is something that gives me chills to this day. That movement was so profound. It has so much potential that the local government conspired to get key people out of the way so that they can control that movement. Hence, today, that's why you have a lot of co-opted individuals who are doing intervention and prevention, a lot of co-opted individuals who are working for the United States government, who are surveilling our communities for the United States government. And a lot of that shit transpired there during the peace treaties. Some of it also transpired during the first COINTELPRO, where they co-opted our people and used our people to infiltrate these organizations, these institutions of free thought. Anything that was for the embedment of the people, they infiltrated it and sabotaged it. The peace treaties. They did the same thing. But getting back to what black means to me, seeing all these beautiful brothers out there, homie, tying blue rags, red rags together. We were on one accord. Brothers was high-fiving individuals, and man, I never thought we'd be cool. I never thought it'd be this. I never thought it'd be that. But it was that in Watts. It was beautiful. The ambiance, the feeling is something that I would love to recapture, bottle up, and take it all around the world. Different impoverished and destitute communities where economies are built off of our back, where we are the subjugated people who are considered the low class, who cannot collectively advance as a people. I wish we can replicate that. I'm going to tell you something else that happened for me in 1992. This amazing movie that inspired me, that touched me, that resonated with me, even as a kid. In 92, I was like, what, 7, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. 7 going on 8. I watched this amazing movie called Malcolm X. Phenomenal movie. I witnessed the peace treaties. I watched this amazing movie done by Spike Lee. I seen how the police assassinated Tiny in 1991. I seen how the police beat Rodney King for being black. No matter if he was a crackhead, a person who had a substance abuse disorder or not, they publicized how they treat us. This has been going on in the project in these destitute communities for a long time. Police brutality, the powers that be brutalizing us and victimizing us go all the way back to when we were in servitude. So to see the dynamic shift, and then to have an individual to start teaching me about the 1960s, the Black Panther political party, other organizations in the 60s, and how our people was coming together and when we were reversing the programming that we were under. Love, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, homie. And I mean this from the heart. The game is dead. The streets is over. You got individuals that have taught you to be a gangster. That's your rites of passage. Be a gangster. You got to be like this. You got to be like that. And then they have a voila moment. They have an epiphany. And they say, man, it ain't nothing in the streets. I'm about to go get me a job. Man, these youngsters is in the streets with no leadership trying to figure out, what do I do? Fathers are not taking their parental responsibilities serious. So they go out and they do things that they don't need to do. And you get snatched out of your child's life. What you just did was repeated the cycle. The same thing that the streets taught you is going to be the same shit that the streets teach your kid. So my question is this. What does being black means to you? And it's Adam 22 putting brothers in a trick bag. We sit back and we witness time after time again, especially as of late. Just watch some content where Adam 22 was saying that drama sells. Drama and violence sells, and this sells. And if you don't have this and you don't have this, then you don't have anything that's cracking and popping and popular. So do you not see the motive? You don't think Adam didn't know that this little dude said some very disrespectful things towards black? Adam see how he introduces these individuals on his platform into these compromising type of situations, and how us commentate on them, and then they rebuttal and commentate back. Now it's looking like we into it, and it may spark a gang war. No, it ain't doing that. Adam is the ring leader. He's the ring master. But at some point in time, brothers is supposed to step back and say, damn, every time this person come at me, or every time, I have a disagreement with this individual, or whatever the case may be, Adam is always at the root of it. So let's just say, I watched Compton Rick Rock's commentation of myself and the dark skinned brother. I'm not going to even disrespect that brother right now. And the brother say, well, maybe they did know. And let's just say they did know. Just say they did know. Just say that dude and that dude did not know. But there's a certain level of accountability that has to be discussed with Adam. Hey, we're here, we're doing our jobs, but the only thing that we ask is that we can be informed of who you're going to bring, so that we can make sure that it doesn't create any type of problem or have this type of backlash. How hard is it to do that? I want to play something for you, because I want to show y'all how deep the conditioning and the programming of our minds is, so that we can fit into the system. Check out what this brother say. Shout out to my Damu partner that sent me this audio.
Everything. And people are not banging on the white boys and lefties. You feel me? They not my real appreciator. But it's regular that nigga go, I'm bang on everything black that I see. You feel me? Because you got the potential to harm me.
Listen to this shit again. This is Tiny Hawk from Westside Hoover. Listen to this ignorant shit that this brother say. This shows you how deep the conditioning of our minds is to hate and go after one another. Listen to this shit.
I'm banging on everything. Only people I'm not banging on is white boys and lefties. You feel me? They not my real appreciator. But it's regular that nigga go, I'm bang on everything black that I see. You feel me? Because you got the potential to harm me.
He's going to bang on everything that's black that he see. If you got the potential to harm me, the main people, I want to be careful with my words. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to just use that as an example of how conditioned we are to go after one another and victimize another and have no compassion or mercy towards one another. I want to show a video for those of you who decide to stick around. The reason why they program individual minds is so they can fit into a system. As I've said before, this iOS program allows this iPhone to operate on a certain system. They program us to integrate us into a system. That system that they want to integrate us into, or that we're integrated into, some people will call the Matrix. But it's the Babylonian system. It's the same system that got rid of Yeshua or Jesus Christ, the same system that got rid of John the Baptist, the same system that got rid of Muammar Gaddafi, the same system got rid of Patrice Lumumba, the same system that got rid of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and the countless others. In the 1960s, man, if you didn't fit into the system, or if you couldn't be the type of person that they can feed the system to, and you go back into your community and regurgitate it to your people, the poison. You poison this mouse goes into the hole with the poison and poison the rest of the community. The individuals that they allow to preside over us is always toxic, contaminated, and poisonous individual that they put over to govern the people. Pay attention. It's time for us to start calling a ball, a strike, a strike, because we out here losing. I want to play something for y'all so we can better understand why we're so conditioned and why we're so programmed to go after one another. What is the origin of it? Because before we encountered the Europeans, we were cool. We got into disagreements, and like warriors, we handled it, resolved it. You name a war in Africa. Now let's just say Sudan and the Congo, theoretically speaking, back in the days, right? You name a war in Africa to where the whole continent of Africa was divided and everybody started picking sides. No, we aren't those type of people. You name a country, you name somewhere else that we went and we subjugated the people to our harsh leadership. Name a country that blacks went, raped, and messed over the people and seized the land. The Moors, when they went into Spain, they didn't go out there unaliving people, beating people, taking their women and assaulting their women. They didn't do that. They gave them and introduced them to the concept of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Music, math, meditation, and medicine. Here, when they went to Northern Europe, when the Europeans said, don't drink the water will kill you. So they started drinking alcohol. And every day they drunk. They wouldn't bathing themselves. And they had these offensive odors that permeated from them. The Moors said, hold on. The water is all right, but you got to boil that water. You just can't consume the water like that, but you got to boil it. Here, take this plant, mix this with this, take this 2 times a day, bathe in this, and you'll be cool. When individuals in Paris, because Paris was a ghetto, in Paris, they was taking their feces and they was taking their excrements and throwing it into the streets. The Moors went and said, ooh, hold on. We're going to teach you how to make irrigation systems. We're going to teach you how to properly dispose of your excrement. We're going to teach you how to bathe. We're going to teach you how to be civilized, because we see that y'all got a little bit of the game, but we're going to give you all the game. Once they learned the game, they said, you know what? It's time to divide and conquer. We want to be the big dogs. Just like when you read the Bible and it said that the will of Lucifer is what got him cast down to earth. They said, we want to run this. We want to subjugate them. They came and gave us the knowledge. We're going to go back and we're going to infiltrate. But before we came back into contact with them, we didn't try to turn brothers against other brothers. If South Africa was beefing with, just say, theoretically speaking, Madagascar, individuals sat back, made sure that it was rules of engagement that was in place, and they let them do their thing. You ain't have half of Africa, the continent of Africa, saying, we ride with Madagascar. And then the other half saying, no, we riding with South Africa. Let's get it cracking. No, the brothers is fighting. Long as it is certain rules of engagement that's in play of their feud, we gonna let them duke it out. When they go too far, we'll come in and we will mediate. Brothers, it's been too much. Let's get into the content. We didn't create world wars. We didn't go all around the globe trying to subjugate people to our harsh leadership and rule. We didn't do that. We have never been that type of people. But now that we have been subjugated for so long, that we treat ourselves the same way that the oppressor treated us back then and now. But let's get to the root of it. One of the reasons why we can't get right. I want to introduce you to the concept of the Willie Lynch theory, or the Willie Lynch letter.
Willie Lynch was a slave master.
Allegedly.
Who may not have existed. But the science of the Willie Lynch letter is 100% exact. And Willie Lynch was brought to the James River, Richmond, Virginia in 1712 to teach the slave masters how to control their slaves. After he told them about how to use blacks to work against each other, he then told them how to control blacks, and the number one weapon art was fear. He said, get the biggest, meanest, most respected black man on your plantation. Bring him out in front of all.
Now they do it to the richest, the most influential, the ones that we continuously see in the algorithm. They buck break them. They bring them into these courts and they emasculate them. They humiliate them. They break them down to show the world, if we can do this to him, and this is what y'all consider the best amongst you, imagine what we can do to all of y'all. But let's get back into it. Buck breaking.
All the other blacks, whip them, beat him, tar and feather him, humiliate him in front of the entire plantation of slaves. In front of the entire plantation of slaves. And if you beat him down enough, if you shame him enough on the plantation in front of all the other slaves, they won't look up to him no more. His woman won't look up to him no more. In fact, the woman, being so ashamed of what you did to the husband, will raise the son to not be a man, but to be a coward, so he never faces the same shame and humiliation as his father.
Some heavy psychology. And one of the things that they say that the Willie Lynch did, the Willie Lynch theory or letter did, was reverse the roles of men and women. And that still exists in our community. If you with your old lady and you're black, the police come up to say, hello, ma'am, how are you doing? Are you okay? Are you safe? Do you feel comfortable? And she supposed to say, I'm okay, talk to my husband. If the husband is clean, if the husband don't got no warrants or none of that. But they totally disregard the male to have a conversation with the female. Even back in the slave days, it was always the woman who stood in the front of the family or the doorway. No, master, don't do this. Please, please. And you got the husband in the back shielding the kids or trying to figure out an exit route. Oh, you don't think that don't still exist? You got these West Coast LA gangbangers that supposed to be these tough guys, these bad guys, and these menacing figures. They don't play. They're this, they're that. But they only this and they only that when it comes to one another. They don't call out racism. They don't attempt to check, address, or correct these Hispanics that's infiltrating our culture, that's calling us the N-word with the ER on it. They don't even holler about that. And if a brother comes on and rebuttal or say, hey, man, what's up with this? Instead of them saying, you know what? I'm going to holler at you. But what he did, that ain't cool. And had I known that this individual was this type of individual, I would not have been on that platform with him. They going to overlook that, and they're going to come and try to attack the brother. They're going to try to reduce the credibility of the brother who's saying, what's up with that? They're not going to come on and say, hey, brother, you misinformed. I didn't know anything about that. But I appreciate you, giving us that pull up. But I didn't know anything about that. This is how this played out. Had I had prior knowledge of that, then I want to share a content space with this individual. So the individual that we arguing gripe about, they go out unscathed. But yet brothers are feuding. Some brothers can't stand up to the pressure of being a man who's working on being a righteous black man that can have a positive effect on the same community that he had a detrimental effect upon. Because some niggas' identity is rooted in their gang. You take their gang away from them, these niggas don't have no fucking identity. See, Bobby A.A. Jones, you can remove me from my gang and I still have an identity. My identity isn't rooted in the set. I got movies, I got books, did some keynote speaking, some youth advocacy work with the youth, help the seniors, lead survivors advocate. That's Bobby Yeye Jones. That's what encompasses my being, not PJ Watts Crip. You take their gang away from a lot of these niggas, and they ain't got a fucking leg to stand on. They don't know the first thing about being black. Their blackness is rooted in the dysfunction of our community. Crip versus blood, this faction versus this faction, modern day tribalism. They can't think outside of that. Everything that they do, it exudes that. All you got to do is just sit back, cross your arms, listen and pay attention. A dude come on here and say, "Oh man, I can get disrespectful." But after you get disrespectful with me, brother, can you please get disrespectful for the individuals that's out here calling us Ni99as? None of that, huh? We don't hold them accountable, huh? And you know they people don't give a fuck about it, because if one of my kin folks get in the comments and says some disrespectful things towards a hood that we consider to be our enemy, I'm gonna check that. If I can, I'm gonna go in and delete that. That's not what we do right here. So when there are people who's supposed to be cool with us, allow that type of behavior to exist and allow those type of infractions to reoccur continually, that shows you they don't give a fuck about your blackness. They don't care about how they little homies perceive you. You know why? Because they perceive you the same way too. It's just some of them are better at masking it. We are so hell-bent on going after one another and never hold others accountable. That's not me. So the narrative some of these cats try to spin on me, it's not befitting. Because me and Red Supreme is really the only brothers in this content space that has some type of ties to Los Angeles to say, hey, this ain't right. Inner minority racism that we then provoke. Inner minority racism that's affecting the lives of these children. These other content creators, I ain't seen no racism, and if some racism sure do exist, I ain't seen none of it. Coon ass niggas. I want to share another video with y'all. Those who oppose us, they know how to influence us because they know us. They know what we like. They know what our desires is. They know what to make us turn on one another. They know what prompt us to be modern day Judas of one another. They know it. And a lot of time it's money, it's fame, it's recognition. Oh, for that? Oh, we'll turn on each other fast, quick, and in a hurry. Oh yeah, give a dude a few dollars, a little recognition and some attention. If you really believe that the Crips, Southside Compton Crips, that the Compton Crips, or I don't want to generalize, that the Southside Compton Crips did that to Tupac, if you really believe that, then you're sadly mistaken. The feds knew that if they gave Keefe D a proffer deal disguised as immunity, the first thing that he'd do is try to monetize and capitalize off of, oh yeah, I was in the car with Tupac and, was a little bit of back. It was saying to Tupac. Yeah, but it was something to Tupac and, we was driving in the car and Willie was in the back and, Baby Lamb, my nephew, and I was in the car and they just worked you. They knew you was going to respond the way that you responded. They knew you was going to do what you did before you did what you did because they sit back and they study us. They know what makes us tick. And here he is. Yeah, I was in the car, but it's up. Now he in Clark County can't afford bail, can't get proper legal representation, and they effing him over. This dude ain't responsible for that. We know who responsible for the unalive and the Biggie Smalls and Tupac. We know. It ain't no conspiracy theory. It's the truth. It's what's real. But they psychologically FUCK'd this brother gave him a script, and he came out here and got himself. So now, case closed. Oh no, you can't say that the government had a hand in that, because this guy, Keefe, whatever his name is, Keefe Davis, he came and he admitted it having a hand in it. He admitted to having a hand in the demise of Tupac because he was chasing clout. They gave him enough rope to hang himself. And now he don't want that. Now he wish that he can start all over again. Now he said, I'm being tricked, or I'm being set up. Yeah. Because then people knew you better than you knew yourself. We don't know nothing about the people who oppress and who oppose us, what they like. Only thing we may know, if we're conscious and we're vibrating on the same on a certain frequency, only thing we know that they dislike is us unifying, us being self-sufficient and independent. We don't know what drives them. We don't know what they like. We don't know what their desires is outside of power and subjugating us. What do your enemy like? What is your enemy's routine? What does your enemy diet consist of? How do your enemy think? You're dealing with a people who are inclined to give and disguise violence. Their intentions is violence, but they decorate it to be something other than what it is. And by the time you look up, it's too late. It's too late. They're not a people who understand peace. They are a people who understand subjugating others. We come to subjugate. We come to conquer. We don't mind you having 40 acres and a mule. We don't mind you having this, that, and third. But the only way you're going to get it is by either being an individual who subjects themselves to our rule and leadership, or getting it in blood the way we took it, baby. But let's get back into this content, man. I want to share this with you. I think this is it right here. Nah, that one ain't it. I think it's this one. Let me see.
There are certain things that slave owners could do to psychologically lock slaves into slavery for essentially forever, right?
Essentially forever.
Some of these psychological things that you can do is sort of take the slaves and pit them against one another, sort of divide and conquer tactic. And he says you can pit them against one another in a number of different categories, right? You can pit the old slave against the young slave, the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave.
Pause. Do we not still see this being executed amongst us? The youngster says, oh, F the big homies. The big homies ain't never did nothing for us. The old cat said, man, fuck them young cats. Man, they don't listen, and they think they tough, and they think they this, and this. But all we got to do is have a conversation to express our grievances with one another. And I guarantee you, if we can start having conversations at least once a week, or at least twice a month, if we can have conversations every week, the youngsters with the old heads of the community, we would instantaneously get an understanding of one another. Because you know what we're building? We're building community. That's simple. Us just getting in the same space and allowing the youngsters and understanding that in the beginning, it's going to be raw emotions. Let these youngsters come and let them speak. Even if they start calling names, just understand the frustration and the pain that they're trying to exist with. Understand. Around that third week, we start to build relationships. The older cats start to having their picks of the litter. The younger cats start having their favorite elders of the community. Now we building relationships. You know what that is? That's community building. We're not having enough conversations about our differences. You can go on social media and they got videos that say, oh, light-skinned dudes dance like this, or light-skinned dudes fix cars like this, and it'd be something real derogatory and demeaning and degrading towards light-skinned people. Then the light-skinned people's a rebuttal. Dark-skinned people do this, and dark-skinned people do this, and dark-skinned people do that. What do blacks do? What do we do effectively and successfully as a people? Let's get back into the content.
The slave in the South versus the one in the North versus the one in the East and the West. The one.
You don't see that now? You don't see that now? South Central cats feel like they're better than people everywhere. Gardena, Hawthorne, the Valley, San Bernardino, almost everywhere. You got this gang feeling like they're deeper, or you got this gang feeling like they're better than that gang. This clique feeling like they're better than this clique. But we all dealing with the same conditions of poverty. We're all trying to navigate through the same challenges. Ain't nobody better than the next. You got cats from LA to say we better than, and I don't feel like I'm better than anyone in certain regards. You know, I don't want to make myself out to be a confabulator or a deceiver. But I don't paint myself, especially in regards to this game world, to feel like, oh, this, that, and third. What makes LA so different from Las Vegas? What makes Las Vegas so different from LA? When it's the same dynamics, it's the same poverty-stricken conditions. What makes the PJs better than the Gray Streets, or the Gray Streets better than the PJs? And we all losing. So who's really better than who? Because we don't see a group of black people that's enjoying life similar to the individuals in the United Emirates. Those Muslim brothers that once they found that their country had gold, and like, oh yeah, we rocking. They got a brotherhood. They come together, they let off them AKs, and they eat, you know, exotic meals, and they live life as a collective. We don't see no particular set enjoying their fruits of the labor, their fruits of their labors in that fashion. You don't go to this particular black set and see everybody driving Rolls Royces. Everybody that's a part of the set, homeowners. Everybody that's a part of the set, business owners. Everybody that's a part of the set, getting you know, stamps on their passport. Name one set that's like that anywhere in America. You name one Crip, Blood, GD, Vice Lord, Gangsta. You name one set that's like that. You can't do it. Let's get back into the content.
And who is on a bigger plantation versus those who are on a smaller plantation?
Projects, cities. Chicago is better than Detroit. Oh no, Detroit is better than Chicago. LA is better than this one, and this one is better than LA. My projects is bigger than your projects, so our projects is tougher. But our projects is this and in this color, and we do this and we do that, so our projects is tougher. Your ghetto ain't no harder than mine. Let's get back into the content.
It's just a lot of different ways in which he suggests that you play these psychological games and you make the slaves fight and bicker with one another so that you always have control as a slave master and you don't have to take this out physically. It's a very, very famous letter that has sort of circulated.
And y'all don't see that in No Jumper? He introduced these brothers to these climates, right? With controversial topics and controversial social media figures. And what it does, it got us like this. And he's like this. Or better yet, he's like this. What I'm gonna do next week? Oh, I'm about to F him up with this content that I'm gonna be introducing to him next week. So next week you may have another controversial topic, a subject. They got more brothers weighing in on the brothers who on that platform and act like they are oblivious to what's going on. How long will you stay oblivious? How long would you stay operating in a capacity that puts you in the good graces, data boy, of the master? Let's get back into the content.
One of the more controversial things that, in my understanding of researching the letter, is that while the letter does make some points that may hit home or may have some validity in certain ways, I personally have in no way found that the letter to be actually true. I don't believe the letter actually happened, that there was a person named William Lynch who wrote an actual letter in this way. But
as I have said, that the existence of Willie Lynch is questionable. It's not proven that there was actually a person named Willie Lynch. What they believe is that it was some European Americans that got together and created this way of breaking down the psyche of African Americans and keeping us divided and bickering amongst each other while they continue to subjugate us to their rule.
It's been used so often that people think that it's real. The letter is not real to my understanding, so it shouldn't be taken as real. But there are some good lessons to be learned.
You can't say it should not be taken as real because they're using it on us every day, time after time. We see it being used amongst our people, so you can't say that that the technique isn't real. We can argue and say that Willie Lynch may not have been a person, and we can argue and say, you know, that the way that they have written it in letter format, that may be, you know, some BS, but the technique is effective and it's real. It's real to all the way to the least common denominator. It's a real science on how to properly govern black folks and subjugate them to your rule.
But anyone who wants to get a better understanding of black history, slavery, and just the way this letter has played out in black nationalist circles, I really suggest that you take a look at this book. It's called The Willie Lynch Letter and the Making of a Slave, a very infamous letter. You can Google it. It'll come right up. Check it out. See what your thoughts are about it. Here it is. Willie Lynch Letter and the Making of a Slave.
And I'm going to show you what these people feel about us. This is how they feel about you. And remember we were saying that they divide us and we can never really agree upon one thing that can preserve us as a people. We don't have one common factor that we agree on. See, the Republicans and other European Americans and other white nations and all that, their agenda, their purpose is to monopolize all of the resources and preserve their leadership or preserve their seat of power, to preserve their race. We don't have one common thing that we agree upon, cuz. And that's why we so fucked up. That's why we so divided. That's why it's easy for them to execute these tactics of the Willie Lynch letter on us so effectively. But I'm gonna show y'all how they still feel about us. This is 400 years of this type of treatment. 400 years.
I didn't do nothing. Go reducing, idiot.
There absolutely was force used by the arresting officers. And yes, that force is ugly. And just because force is ugly does not mean it's unlawful.
Wow.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. I didn't do nothing. Go reducing, idiot.
There absolutely was force used by the arresting officers.
Hold on. And this coon ass mother.
One video clip devoid of context can be very misleading. Given that McNeil never brought this incident to JSO's attention, but rather pushed the cell phone camera footage that he had in his possession since March 5th out on social media, one can only assume, and I'm saying I assume, that he intended to inflame the public. The administrative process is still ongoing, and as such, I will neither defend nor commend Officer Bauer's response to resistance until all the facts are known and the investigation is completed. However, as the leader of this agency, I will not remain silent while important facts and information are buried to advance an anti-police agenda.
Wow.
The truth is, William McNeil Jr. was non-compliant with JSO officers within 21 seconds after he was stopped
We must
for
not be
multiple
watching
civil
this same
infractions.
video.
His non-compliance quickly rose to the level of criminal resistance to a police officer. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting a police officer without violence. Force absolutely looks ugly. And because all force is ugly, whether or not the officer involved acted within outside JSO policy, that's still what we're investigating. Social media is not reality. One video clip devoid of context can be very misleading. Given that McNeil never brought...
Check this out. Fuck all this, what he talking about. That's excessive force. You bust a dude window and you fire on him. You wasn't supposed to fire on him. There's a way to remove him from that vehicle if he was being defiant, if he was being uncooperative. There's a proper way of doing that. You don't fire on him. You don't snatch him out of the car and give him an uppercut and give him a left and put him to bed. And then, like, no, that's not how that go, brother. Ayele T says, dude pled guilty. A lot of, okay. Davo says, F the pigs. They was on BS as soon as they pulled up. Talking about you have no lights on. Neither did they. Hold on, I got something else for y'all, man. See, we be so enamored and we be so captivated and mesmerized with us beefing with one another to where when other people do things to us, it's just like, oh man, it should just happen. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Watch this. Look how they did him.
Blame Trump for this treatment, is what they told me. I've been in Cabo San Lucas for the past 48 hours for a celebration for graduating from medical school. And me and my brothers were kidnapped, robbed, and beat, and thrown in cages, held captive for 16 hours. Our jury stole one more necklace. Cash stole out our pockets. And the result of this, my eyes swollen shut. I'm pretty sure it's fractured. This eye I can barely see out of. But I think I'm safe now because I'm in the airport, about to fly back to LA for immediate care. Please, everybody, pray for me. And this is your warning to not go to Cabo San Lucas and stay clear far away. Blame Trump, is what they said. Stupid Negro, stupid Negro. Blame Trump for this treatment, is what they told me. Stay away from Cabo San Lucas.
You niggas need to stop explaining black shit to non-black people. Yes, I'm promoting gatekeeping. Now here's why. Black slang or AAVE often loses its authenticity and cultural value once adopted by white people, because mainstream society tends to commodify and dilute black expression without respecting its origins, forcing communities to constantly reinvent language to preserve their identities. This cycle reflects a larger pattern where black creativity is mined for trends while creators are erased or mocked, making it feel like once white people co-opt something, it becomes overexposed, misused, and stripped of its original meanings. So that's why you niggas need to stop explaining black shit to non-black people. Yes, I'm promoting gatekeeping. Now here's why. Black slang or
What the little brother is saying is real. Like the word OG, when they got put up on the word OG, oh, those are OG Jordans. Or those are this. And whoa, man, that dude's basketball game is OG. What? Even bling. Oh man, that guy came in here wearing some serious bling bling. Hey Tyrone, you're wearing some serious bling bling, aren't you? Like what? This brother got some validity to what he's saying. Hold on, let's see what else we can get into before I get off this thing, man. This is how certain Africans, not all Africans. I want you to get a load of this.
Of America, right? But what is the culture? Bro, let me educate you. Every culture starts from a language, a tribe. Every tribe have a language. What is it? Apart from English, what other language do Americans speak? The Black Americans. The Mexicans in America speak.
You can't use Mexicans because the Mexicans speak Spanish from Spain. And a lot of Mexicans' cultural traditions come from, damn, he probably slightly got a point. Because a lot of Mexicans' music and foods and cultural traditions come from melanated, carbonated people, as well as the Spanish when the conquistadors came over here and conquered them and so on and so forth. So it's a mix. It's a mix. But it may not be our contributions. It may be contributions from the Moors and the Africans from Africa. Like I was telling y'all about horchata. Horchata was a drink that was given to the Spanish and the Portuguese by way of the Moors from Africa. They called it tiger nuts or something like that when it was in Africa. You know what I mean? Horchata, their tiger, something like that. But it's a lot of foods in Mexico that has an African origin. So I would be speaking more to his point than to anything else. So let's just get into it.
Spanish, they have something they speak outside English. The Asians, the Chinese, everybody speak their language outside English. What do you speak? What is the trace of your culture you're talking about? What is American culture? I want to know, what is the Black American culture? I keep hearing this culture. Bro, the Black Americans are the culture, maybe baby mama culture, baby single women having 3 kids.
Wow.
That's probably their culture. Or the numbers of the highest incarcerated Black young men in America. That's their culture. I don't know. Wow. Is it the pim culture? The gang banging culture? Is that the culture? Bro, the Black American culture is about wearing, let's say, wearing the Nikes, they want to be on the trend game. These are the culture. But I don't know why the Black Americans feel like they should be the center of Black people around the world, or they should be the face of Black people around the world. Why? Bro, you can have your face. See, you don't even have to declare yourself that you are not African, you're not African American. Bro, nobody give a flying damn about what you think about yourself. That's your own opinion and your own mentality, your own narrative of everything, how you are. That nobody cares. But bringing all your fights about Africa, bro, I don't get it. You talk about culture every time. What is the culture? I want to know. Genuinely, I'm asking. The hip hop. You want to say the hip hop? The music is your culture. I don't get it. Eminem is not Black, but he do more hip hop probably than the Black Americans. I don't get the culture you're talking about. Or maybe because you guys dominate the basketball, the sports game in America. You guys dominate. Is that the culture? Sport is not culture, bro. Let me educate you. You don't have any language you speak outside English. You don't have a tribe. Culture has traces. You don't have any culture, but you always say culture. Bro, you don't have culture. Your culture is about dressing, looking nice, and wearing Nikes. They will tell you that they have the Nike. Bro, Nike is owned by a white man. I want to educate you on that too. The Nike is owned by a white man. They will tell you, hey, Michael Jordan, all of America, right? But
that's heavy. That's heavy. That's something. That's something to think about. Our culture is a culture of resiliency. Our culture is a culture of making the best out of nothing. That's what our culture is. Hip hop, rap is not our culture. That is a movement. That is a genre of music that comes from the culture. You can't say we don't have a culture, and we have a culture of producing innovators that has contributed some of the most significant scientific breakthroughs in America. You can't say we don't have a culture. Our culture we may not be able to trace our culture back over there across the Atlantic and tie it in with Nigeria and so on and so forth and all this and all that. But let's not make it seem like we don't have a culture or have, positive traditions that we share amongst ourselves and one another. This is deep. Brothers and sisters, it's time to get it together. We got the whole world against us. We can't continue to bicker and fight and go after one another. Now is the time for us to shape up, fly right, and get it together. Up, you mighty race, and be who you are destined to be. It's easy to say that we don't have culture and we don't have an identity and we don't have traditions when they take everything from us. But when you learn the true identity of us as a people, it's astonishing. But that's why they manipulate the education and the information to make us think that what this African brother just said about us is accurate and true. It is not. But with that being said, man, that's my time. Y'all stay up, be blessed. I had something else I wanted to share with y'all. Brothers don't speak up when these racist individuals come and say this, make these racial remarks and have these racial discussions in their chats and all that. But guess what? sisters on the East Coast is sounding off and being heard. Hold on. Hear this sister out.
Chill. I don't give a fuck about what they're saying about me. You have 2 black people working for you, 2 employees, and they are spewing the monkey, the this, the that, all the racist comments. You got 2, like you got a black man protecting your little ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your cameraman, black.
Yeah.
You feel me? They ain't got to know me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But these people are obviously close to you. They work
100%.
for you. You gotta love them because you wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this shit by yourself. You have to have a team. Team is black. A lot of them. Obviously,
I think my entire team's black.
You know what I mean?
Publicist.
So it's like,
shout out to Brandy.
That's my
right?
girl.
So
That's my sister.
Right. So you know, you might want to.
Yeah, you got to tell them.
Man,
But I mean,
tell
you
them
can't control that.
I mean, I told him
you
to
can't control that.
I can't. But if they love him and they're following him, and it's like he got to still be the representation.
Well, of course, you can tell him to chill, but at the end of the day, it's the internet. Like the internet, like just like when I was at home, I could say whatever I want. Like there's no like stopping what a live chat says. Like if this was streamed,
I agree.
Like there's literally not nothing.
But that's why when you catch
never
one of them,
stop them. Just advocate for your team and who you are. I know you can't control other people.
That's why when you catch one of them little
you,
shit talking motherfuckers, you gotta make an example.
I will say this.
Period.
Leon, I do. If you.
So what they talking about is this dude named Neon. Back in the past, he said some very disrespectful and disparaging things towards black people. Kai Sanani called their mother some very disrespectful things that's equating to she's a N-word and things of this nature. So being that he put that energy out there when he was a kid and he apologized and asked for forgiveness, we're not about to keep on forgiving you fucking degenerates, right? Now that he put that energy out there, people around the world feel comfortable tuning in to his broadcasts, his lives and all that, and saying very disrespectful things towards blacks. Just the mess, I think that's her name. If that's not her name, forgive me. But Sister Jess from off the East Coast, she called him out on all that. And then he goes to French Montana, a non-melanated carbonated being, a person who's not black, who then came into another culture vulture. And he said, man, I need you to make me a rap so I can diss the Breakfast Club. And French Montana put his pen to work. See, we live in a time to where we can't call out racists for being racist. Now, when you call out a racist for being a racist, they play victim. And when they play victim, you got a lot of people that come and baby them, coddle them, and give them, support. And, oh, you were just a child, and people are capable of changing. But we don't get the same level of compassion and understanding. What we get is we get censored. We experience cancel culture. You can't be an African American and say certain things about a specific ethnic group that run all these media platforms and don't get censored or don't get canceled. But anybody can say anything about blacks as long as they apologize. It's going on in Los Angeles with the Southern Hispanics, the Southern Mexicans. It's going on globally. It's going on with this dude named Neon, him disrespecting a black dude's mother, and you're in a setting to where a lot of people who support you is black. The brother just admitted that all of his team is black. So how dare you have the audacity to disrespect and use negative comments, racial comments towards a black person and his black mother? This shit is getting outrageous, bro. So he was called out for being a racist, saying some racist shit. And here's another clip of him talking to a sister, and watch what he tells a sister. Corny motherfucker.
Live on Monkey app, crosses a line by harassing a black woman, shocking viewers with his inappropriate comments. Unapologetically, he declares himself her master on the stream, leaving an uncomfortable silence in the chat. Neon's failure to apologize later underscores the severity of his actions, marking him as a racist streamer.
Wait, can you go open that door over there?
Why?
Because I'm your master and I told you to. Oh my, what am I? Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with me? I can't go back to this bullshit. Fuck.
I can't go back to this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Oh god, I'm tripping.
This shit is crazy. This shit get wild. Hey, but that's my time, man. I gotta start making preparations to get over here and do this podcast with none other than the original baby gangster in the hip hop, West Coast hip hop community, BG Knockout. I'm about to go grace his platform and do a few other things tonight, man. Y'all stay up. Oh, Jess hilarious. Forgive me. I didn't mean to disrespect that sister by saying Jess the best. I didn't mean no disrespect. I don't follow a lot of what goes on in this, in these different platforms or whatnot. So I didn't mean no disrespect to the sister. I thought that was her name, but it's just hilarious. So forgive me. But Cinderoni says Shock Jock Lane. Yeah, that's true. And I'm about to get off this thing, man. Y'all step and be blessed. It's your player upon the 2 Black 2 Strong. We all we need, we all we got. God bless y'all. Let's live in peace before we be forced to rest it. And with that, that's my time. That's my segment for the night. I'm gone. One love. Love y'all, cuz on Crip. I love y'all.